sports card education section of the podcast. If you follow anything on social media, you are seeing tons of new scam reports, fraud, fake PSAs, fake autos. Definitely something that scares the shit out of a lot of people because with modern technology, it doesn't take much to be able to create a PSA label, a plastic slab out of a mold, 3D printer, whatever it is you're gonna do, and make your own cards. So I think this is something that is very interesting to see how PSA is going to start combating that. But for you as a buyer, we're going to talk about some tips right now to basically hopefully keep you out of trouble. So Bunk, why don't you kick us off here as far as if you're, let's say you're buying bigger pieces, high end thousands and thousands of dollar cards. Where are you looking? What are you doing to avoid getting scammed and making sure you're getting authentic stuff?
Yeah, I mean, are we talking off eBay?
Anywhere, eBay, off eBay. I mean, I would imagine it's you have similar buying habits. Just if I'm gonna spend 5, 10, $20,000 on a card, you're looking for similar things.
I mean, if I'm spending that kind of money, I'm definitely looking for the most reputable dealers that I can find. I'll look at auction houses. I'm not going to buy it from the guy with 100 Twitter followers who has one person vouching for them. I got to be looking at people I've known for a while, or they've been a mainstay in the social media community.
Yeah.
And then I can get multiple people telling me, yeah, I've dealt with this guy or gal, and they're good people.
Yeah, I think the main thing that you're looking at is that there's some sort of establishment that is backing whoever it is you're buying from. That's going to, if you figure out that for whatever reason what you just bought is fake, that somebody's going to stand up and own up to it and refund your money. So eBay has certain things with PayPal and or however other payment methods. Large eBay sellers usually will vouch for themselves, and if for whatever reason they sell you something fake unknowingly, they'll refund for that. And then auction houses, you go to auction houses, them too. Usually they get any merchandise authenticated, even if it's already graded.
They have to, because they can't take the PR hit if
Yeah,
they have multiple items coming back tainted. Then they're not going to make any money.
yeah. If Golden Auction sells you $100,000 fake card, with social media these days, that's not going to go unnoticed, and people are going to be very, very scared to buy. So they have to stand behind it. They have insurance. All these companies have insurance to handle stuff like this. So don't buy it from, as Bunk said, somebody who has 4 feedback on eBay and 7 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, like Joe from Kentucky. I'm not buying a $5,000 card off Twitter. It's just not going to happen. You could be the greatest guy in the world and the most genuine dude in the world, but that's just not enough for me to pull the trigger on it unless I drive out there and check it out.
Yeah, and even that, in modern technology these days, the PSA labels aren't fucking hard to replicate. It's a red box with a white background and some black lettering. Like it's not a challenge. So
yeah,
I think
I don't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think PSA really needs to start to almost start taking some technology that's being used by currency and integrating some sort of security strip into the plastic or something that's a lot harder that I can't just go replicate.
I bet it's been discussed.
Yeah,
Backroom meetings. I'm sure it has. I mean, and if you ever see, for people wondering, if you ever see people's pictures of graded cards and the serial numbers scratched out, that's just one low level way of making sure someone can't, replicate that number per se. But
yeah. Unfortunately, though, it's not hard to find a number that you can replicate, like a type number.
Well, yeah, because if there's 5,000 of the same card, you'll find the one you want.
Yeah. So exactly. I mean, I could easily replicate a Acuna label. There's 18,000 PSA 10s, and it wouldn't be hard. So I think that PSA eventually, or all these grading companies, have to start looking into holographs or security strips that's in the plastic or something that's going to be able to distinguish it from somebody who's trying to fake it. The other part of this that I wanted to talk about is the lower level stuff. You know, are you scared of buying cards from Australia, China, foreign countries? Does that give you pause, from buying some of that stuff? Let's say it's a $300 card.
I don't do it just because I don't trust it, the delivery process versus who I'm buying it from more than anything. I don't want to wait a month for it to get over here on a boat or whatever, however it gets here. I mean, a plane
So
can get here in less than a day, but I
I'm gonna go the opposite of that. I bought a ton of stuff in the last 6-8 months from guys in China, guys in Australia, wherever, and I found that sometimes auctions can close lower because guys like you won't want to touch it, and
100%.
and as long as I'm not as long as I don't care about waiting. I mean, sometimes I've waited 6 to 8 weeks to get my cards, but at the same time, if I'm not flipping the card quickly and I don't need it in my hands, I know that up to a certain dollar value, eBay stands up for it. Up for a certain dollar value, PayPal stands up. So for whatever reason it gets lost, I'll know I'll get my original money back. And if I can save 10-15% on the auction, that pays for taxes, fees, shipping, whatever. And with that being said, you always got to keep in mind what the person is charging for shipping, because if the card's worth 250 bucks and they're going to charge $25 for shipping, don't pay more than 225 because you still have to pay $25 for shipping. So keep an eye on that too. I've had that happen, learned that the hard way, where I kept bidding up and wound up paying more than I should have, and then tacked a $25 or $35 shipping charge on it. So just keep your eyes open for shipping and feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't seek out those auctions or to purchase, but the ones I have bought by accident from overseas, I've never had an issue. But
Yeah.
I just don't want to worry about where's my card for 2 months. That's just me.
Yeah, absolutely. To each his own, but I think stuff that I worry about is more on the higher end. Lower end stuff, usually depending on where you're buying it from, you have a very low risk of running into some of those problems. I mean, the biggest problem you have is just if somebody doesn't pack it right, and then the car could get damaged in the mail, and then you got to fight it out. But once again, if you have guys that have high feedback or have a good reputation, usually they will pack it right, or stand up for it, and
Or take care of you, right?
and make it right. As opposed to the one guy who sent us what was that, a $750 Pulisic PSA 10 by accident, and then had to ask for it back, and then we had to send it back to him.
Well, right. I mean, just because it was the right thing to do, but yeah, he
Yeah.
screwed up pretty bad.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We were buying some cards, and we bought a card, and the guy wound up, it was a huge dealer and doing so much volume, and it was like a $50 or $60 card, and they wound up sending us a $750 card. And we did the right thing, and we sent it back, and then he actually wound up sending us some additional cards as a thank you. So
Yeah, and then another point is I know some people don't open their mail for a week or two after, and that was one of the issues we ran into there because we didn't open that for well after the delivery dates. We didn't know it was sitting there for the
yeah,
longest time, so that made things a little worse. So you get a package, open it up, check it out, especially if it's from eBay or something like that. Just because if there's an issue, take care of it right away. Don't sit on it for 10 days and then say, oh, there's an issue. It just looks worse.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely something good to follow, and just be a good hobbyist and do the right thing. Don't be an asshole, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out
There's
there.
none of those on Twitter.
Yeah, of course not. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would have just kept the $750 card and said, thanks, but just do the right thing. Anyway,
I mean, obviously he knew it came to us.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure people try to get away with stuff all the time like that,
Yeah, well,
and then post about it and brag about it.
and that unfortunately
Good criminals.
is where we are right now, and that's why you got to look out for being scammed. There's whenever there's money, there's always going to be scams that follow, and that's where we're at now. I mean, there's so much money getting made in the hobby, and people are just finding ways to try to take advantage of people. So do your homework, stay educated. If you ever have questions, there's tons of forums out there. Post stuff up on Twitter. Find guys that have good followings on Twitter and say, hey, is this real? Is this legit? And you usually get a lot of good feedback from people.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it took eBay that long to come out with their non-machinable stamp. tracking thing. People would buy PWEs all the time. Be like, I didn't get it, and there's no way to track it. And
Yeah.
most of these big dealers, they would just say, "All right, I'm going to make that $2 problem go away and just refund you." And people are just taking cards all the time,
taking advantage. Well, unfortunately, there are those people out there, but
for $2 cards.
It is what it is, my friend.
Yeah, I know. You're all big business over there.
Not a matter of big business. I don't give a shit about $2 cards you're buying to fill a set.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. We got our hot take. Wayne Gretzky, 1979 O-Pee-Chee PSA 10, recently sold for $3.75 million. Which brings us to another question that we've addressed on this podcast before, as far as, legit reprints, not like I've made this on my printer, but legit reprints. We've started to see the 1992 25th anniversary O-Pee-Chee cards start to surface now that the Gretzky card sold for that much money. So let's touch base on this again. I know that we are very, very far apart as far as what we think about this. So I'll give you the floor here as far as voicing.
It's trash. There's no floor. It's just pure trash. I honestly think. Now listen, I don't want to, not trying to be a hobby gatekeeper, but like honestly, why are you going to pay big dollars for a 1992 reprint of Gretzky?
Because it looks like
or the 1996 reprint of Michael Jordan.
Because it looks like the original, and I can't afford.
So pay $10 for it. Why are we paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for it?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. What are you talking about?
Hundreds or thousands.
Oh, I mean, because it's real, it's graded, it's made by the original card manufacturer, as opposed to me going to Staples and fucking printing it out on my printer and just so that I have it. I mean, at least it's made by the card company. It's been graded, and it looks, if you have show pieces, it looks nice. It looks like the original iconic card that you can't afford. That's why.
I don't want to display that. Here's my fake, not real, iconic rookie card, graded 10.